Namaskaram, everybody. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Here we are, I think, almost at the 7th or 8th day. Very good. I feel good. Hope you're all enjoying the session. Hope I'm able to add value to whatever little you know. In the previous sessions, or rather yesterday, we have discussed about various granthis or the knots of ignorance, or the levels of consciousness. We have seen that there is a Brahma Granthi, which is tied to both the bottommost two chakras, that is the Muladhara and the Swadhisthana. The second knot, or the second hurdle for a yogi to evolve. The Muladhara and the Swadhisthana are tied to the Brahma Granthi. And the next two chakras, the Manipuraka and the Anahata, are tied to the Vishnu Granthi. And the remaining two, the Visuddhi and the Ajna, are tied to the Rudra Granthi. We can compare this to the three hurdles a sadhaka will face. And this is the Anahata Chakra, where the Angushtamatra Purusha is carrying out his meditation. This is what we have seen. This is the most important thing. You can see a tree here. This is called the Kalpa Vriksha or the Ananda Kanda. Ananda Kandamo, we say. As the Tapasvi or the Rishi tries to take an upward journey, or as he tries to evolve, even if there is a single desire, he would come back and he will be forced to take a birth, finish off that desire, and then go again on the onward journey and the upward journey. So, as we see, there are three hurdles here. The lowermost hurdle is the Brahma Granthi, Vishnu Granthi, and the Rudra Granthi. It is said that Lord Shiva has pierced through all the three Granthis with a single arrow. And what is that single arrow? What that single arrow could be? The single arrow is, to my understanding, it is the right understanding. When we have the right understanding, this happens in a split second. The piercing through all these granthis, all these layers of consciousness, all these levels of consciousness will happen in a split second. It just happens like that. It doesn't take years of penance. And more so, it is much easy for us to evolve in this Kali Yuga. Those who can sit for a second here are sure to reach the pinnacle. They're sure to reach the pinnacle. And it says that rishis have left us a fortune. They have left behind a huge estate for which we are the legal heirs. We are the rightful heirs. He says, just have a trip around, go around and see what properties are there left for you. Back to Nachiketa's story. I request Ravali ma'am to leave the slide here. Then back to Nachiketa's story. Lord Yama was very much reluctant to give this knowledge to Nachiketa. Why? There must be something. What is Nachiketa aiming at? Nachiketa was aiming at liberation. Liberation from what? We all know that we are stuck in time. That is, we are worried about the past. We look back at the past. We are worried about the future. The present is also difficult. So there is slicing of time with which we are attached to. And also in space. We are lost both in time and space. When we cross the boundaries of time, the boundaries of space, which isn't as easy as it. That is liberation. That is moksha. Moksha is crossing these levels of consciousness and merging with the universal consciousness. That is moksha. And Nachiketa was very much interested in finding out the moksha vidya. So though initially Lord Yama was very hesitant to give the knowledge, slowly he started explaining to Nachiketa. Nachiketa represents the seeker in us. Nachiketa is the seeker in us. All of us are here because we are interested to know what our true identity is, what we are. We are trying to find it out. So Lord Yama, on the at the first level, he tries to explain to Nachiketa two things. He says experience has two sides to it. One will be pulling us in an outward direction. One side of the coin, like one side of experience is pulling us outwardly. The other side is pulling us inward, in an inward direction. That is, there is this push and pull, like pull in opposite directions, we can say. One is pulling in the outward direction towards the world, and the other pull is towards ourselves, towards our true identity. This pull in two opposite directions, Lord Yama names them or calls them as Shreyas and Preyas. Shreyas, S-R-E-Y-A-S, Shreyas.
Rajalakshmi madam, is there a presentation, PPT or something that needs to be?
Right now I don't have, sir. I didn't find time yesterday to
No,
work
that's
on
fine.
that.
Yeah, just, yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry about that. I shall try. I shall try
No,
to.
it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, please.
I'm sorry. So the outward pull, we can visualize it as our attraction to the world, the worldly things, our possessions, everything that is outside us in this material world is which pulls us in the outward direction. The very thought of, trying to find our own identity, thinking of the Atma, the Angushta Purusha, the Paramatma, this is an inward pull. So these pulls are in two different directions. So Lord Yama says, or calls them, or he identifies them with two terms, Shreyas and Preyas. Shreyas. Shreyas is that which is good for all. That is preferable. That is good. Again, good has many definitions, but Shreyas is the inward pull. To be very simple, Shreyas is the inward pull, which is preferable. The outward pull is pleasurable. We derive satisfaction out of that. See, that is the reason why Ravali ma'am, that Ratha Kalpana, please. So the five senses are represented by the five horses, and the manas is the rain. You see, these senses are always pulling us in an outward or in an outward direction. They're here. The five senses. See, the touch, smell, or the vision. All these five senses are pulling us in an outward direction. So they say that these senses must be blinded. That is the reason why the horses are put blinds on either sides, because they don't run in any direction they want. And this manas or the mind has to be pulled back. The reins have to be pulled back. So the buddhi here has to pull the reins back. So the buddhi or the intellect, usually it runs in the, it is guided by the karma, they say. Buddhi karma anusarini. Buddhi or this intellect will usually, it is It works, not usually. It works in the direction of the karma that we have to read. Buddhi karmanusarini. It follows karma, they say. But when the higher self guides the intellect and not the karma, when the higher self guides the intellect, things are done in the right way. Things flow in the right way. The flow of life or the journey of life becomes easy, and it will be in a direction the way it should be, the way the journey should take place. So Yama was explaining to Nachiketa about Shreyas and Preyas. Shreyas is preferable. Preyas, P-R-E-Y-A-S, Preyas is pleasurable, from which we derive satisfaction. And these are the two sides of experience, just like the two sides of a coin. So the outward path is Preyas, which looks for sensory pleasures, the pleasure from all these senses. That is, we have to come into contact with some object to derive pleasure. The mind will always be looking for contact with some objects in the material world to derive pleasure. The inward path, which is the Shreyas, is the search for truth, reality. Rather than truth, I should say it is the ultimate truth, or we are looking for blessedness, we are looking for blessings. That is an inward path. And also, Ravalima, that slide, the one with the chakras. A person identifies himself with the physical body. Like, we can assess for ourselves at which level we are, what exactly is binding us, or what exactly is the hurdle for us. When a person, if you remember, we also have discussed about the three bodies: the physical body, the subtle body, the gross body or the physical body, the subtle body, and a causal body. We have also discussed about that in the previous sessions. So if a person is identifying himself with the gross body, then he will be below this Brahma Grandhi. In the picture you can see, he will be operating from the basal chakras. The basal chakras are his fulcrum. He's operating from the Mooladhara and Swadhisthana, the lowermost chakras. Then his identification is with the gross body. If he's operating from this region, then this represents the physical body, right? Or the gross body. If he's operating from this level, if the fulcrum is here in the lowermost region or from the lowermost chakras, he will have all the basic instincts in play. Then he's operating from his gross body. If he's operating from this region, from the next two, from the Anahata and the, from the Manipuraka and Anahata, if he's operating from this region, then he's operating from his subtle body. The fulcrum is at the subtle body. His understanding, his understanding is that of the subtle body, and he's slightly evolved, and he's operating from that area. Okay. And the last two chakras, when we are talking about the Rudra Grandhi, the top two chakras, the Vishuddhi and Agnya, if is operating from this area or this layer of consciousness, I should say, this level of consciousness, the topmost level of consciousness, then he's operating from his causal body. He's operating from the causal body. His understanding is at the highest. So the first hurdle is the Brahma Grandhi. The second hurdle is the Vishnu Grandhi. And the third hurdle is the Rudra Grandhi, which is at the Ajna Chakra. And the Vishnu Grandhi is at the Anahata, and the lower ones we have discussed. So these are the three hurdles. And what do they need? What do they want us to do? Or what should we do to pierce these three Grandhis? If we have to cross all these three levels of consciousness, what should we do? Or what is bothering us? What is preventing us from crossing these hurdles? And before I go there, I would like to add one more thing. These three Grandhis or knots were referred to as three forts. They're like fort, you know, a fortress or a citadel, which is very hard to break through. So they say that there are three forts inside us. That is why goddess Tripura Sundari is referred to. Tripura Sundari, Tripura. Pura is a fort. You see? There is we have to, the Tripura Sundari is the goddess, the energy, which helps us to break through. The feminine energy is referred to as the goddess. The masculine energy is the god usually. So Shiva is looked at. We look at Shiva for all his blessings to help us pierce through these levels of consciousness. We seek his help. So Sivayeva Guru, we say. Guru is Shiva himself. And that is why his presence from amongst us, from in the midst, will help us evolve, which help us, he helps us understand. He'll just hold our hand and take us to the utmost level of understanding so that we can operate from that vision. We remain in the society, we do our works, but the fulcrum or the center point of our operations will be different as we evolve. And Lord Yama also explains to Nachiketa that there are three things, and these three forts, they say, are made up of gold, silver, and iron, just for symbolism, they say that. That shows it is very difficult. The amount of difficulty we face in piercing through the knots is explained in comparison with the fortresses, which are made up of gold, silver, and iron. So because the more the attachment we have to various things, the more it will be difficult for us to pierce through or to go to the next class. That is very simple. The preschool, high school, or the collegiate education, we can say. The more we are attached to the baser things, you cannot go to the next level. You have to leave that to go to the next level. You have to leave behind. We have to leave behind the past. And we have to leave our connection, or our dependence on time, or our identity with time, identity with the place we are in. Yesterday, somebody was asking me who this Purusha meant, Angushta Matra Purusha, who this Purusha is. Purusha is somebody who, the indweller, the one who is living inside. Guru Garu, he compares this body with a house for us to understand better. See, we construct a house with windows, doors, everything. They represent our eyes, these are the windows to the world, right? We have windows in a house. That physical house he compares with the physical body. The Gruha Pravesham. Somebody enters this house. We enter the house. We perform rituals and we get inside, right? That is how the Angushtamatra Purusha enters this body. Only when the prani enters this body, the Gruha Pravesham is complete, he says. So this helps us to understand that the Angushtamatra Purusha is the resident here. He resides inside this body. That understanding will help us in detaching with this physical body. We think that this is me, right? So then we understand that there is somebody else inside and this is not me. That is me. We slowly we understand that as we progress. And Lord Yama to Nachiketa, he says that there are 3 things which are blocking the progress, blocking the evolution of man or evolution of soul or evolution of us. Our evolution, we can say. They are the avidya, kama, and karma, he says. Avidya. Avidya is ignorance. Ignorance. We don't have the knowledge. Once we have the knowledge, our mind will immediately link us to that point. So to the extent we have knowledge, our mind functions in that arena. That's all. So as we have enhanced knowledge or the rightful knowledge, immediately we start functioning from that arena, from the area of our understanding, from the level of our understanding. So avidya is ignorance. When we know that there is an indweller, so on and off, even if we are linked to the material world, on and off we tend to go and say hello to the inner self. And slowly that remains and this gets dismantled. They say that once we touch upon the right understanding or the rightful knowledge, there is no need for this body. This human body is needed only for experience. The Atman needs this body for experience. So Guru Garu says that there are many Atmans waiting for a human body. He says the number present in this whole world is very less when compared to the Atmans who are waiting to get a human body. And he says that is the reason why this body is very precious. He says never to pick up a thought or an action which hurts us. Not only externally or internally. He says never pick up a thought or do an action which hurts this body. We have no right to take the life. Because this is very, very important for us to have the ultimate experience, he says. So avidya, kama, and karma are the 3 blocks. These are the 3 things which block us or prevent us from further evolution. Avidya, I was telling you, it is ignorance. Kama is desire, the lust. Unless I have that contact with that particular thing, I cannot live. I cannot live. I need that. I want that. So it could be physical, it could be material. That the lust for or the desire comes under kama. These are holding us back from urdhva travel. The travel in an upward or the travel in an upward direction. And then there is karma. Karma is action. So action. When you don't have the right knowledge, when you are ignorant of the right knowledge, we have the desire for something. When we have the desire, the action comes into play. We act in that direction. We act in the direction of the desire. So I think I'm clear. When we don't have the rightful knowledge, when we are ignorant of the rightful knowledge, we have a desire. We want that. We want this. We want that person. You want this object. So the wants multiply. As I was showing you the Kalpa Vriksha, even if a single, simple, silliest desire remains, we cannot go beyond the Anahata Chakra. We cannot go beyond that. And any desire that comes, any thought, even before it manifests as a desire, any thought which occurs to us, any thought which occurs to us has to manifest. That is the power. That is the power they have. So we have to be very careful in creating our thoughts itself. At the thought level, we have to be very careful. So we start observing our thoughts. As we have the right knowledge, we start observing ourselves at the thought level, lest it should manifest as a desire, or it comes into play, it comes into picture. And that delays a journey further. The more desires we have, so it is not necessary. The desires only for to satisfy the senses. So once we understand that the senses are running behind, guided by the manas, so then we stop creating any further desires. The intellect is cleansed here. When the intellect or the buddhi is cleansed, the manas will operate from that region, from that level of understanding. So to break through these three forks, am I crossing my time? Okay. With this, I think I'll stop here. Tomorrow we will see what is to be done to break through the three fortresses. I hope you have understood. Any questions?
Yeah, Masters, any questions, please raise your hand. Yeah, Namrata ma'am.
Namrata ji, yes.
There's so much knowledge. I mean, I'm trying to understand. I wish we had a class only on this. You said that, can you repeat the thing about the Shreyas and the prayers? Shreyas is when we go inward path in search of the ultimate truth, and prayers, you said, is the outward path, the pleasure from all the different senses, correct?
Yes. Yeah, that's simply for us to remember. Shreyas is preferable, that which is good for us, that which is the ultimate thing, or which will take us to the ultimate thing. That is Shreyas.
Okay.
So we say, I pray for your Shreyas. We say that is a common word we use.
Okay.
Okay, Shreyas. That is how you can remember. Shreyas of the word, Shreyas of ourselves. That's a common thing in prayer, right? We pray that way. Prayesh is pleasurable.
Okay.
Which takes us in the direction of pleasures, which is like, which tries to satisfy ourselves. That is prayer. Okay. More as we go forward, we will just try to understand it better.
Yeah, and then you said something about the manas and the buddhi, like the five. You said the five senses. I mean, I was trying to write down so many notes, but I didn't think I got that.
Yeah,
now,
I think you missed the first.
No. I heard it.
Okay.
I joined early. The five senses are like the horses, like it's driving us out, right? And we have to control the intellect.
Intellect is cleansed actually with the right understanding, right? Normally, intellect is linked to karma.
Okay.
So suppose you take this life to fulfill some areas, your intellect will be guided by that karma. Suppose you have to have a lot of happiness in this life. Your karma has in store, you have picked up from your karma, whatever your bag of karma, you have picked up to have a lot of happiness in these lives.
Right.
Then, your buddhi will drive you in that direction so that you will have all the pleasures. all the
Okay.
happiness.
Okay.
Suppose you are here in this life to take a lot of sorrow. Usually it's not like that. It's a combination. For example, I'm telling you. If you are here to take some sorrow, then your buddhi, it will guide you to go in this direction, go in that way, go in that way, so that you will reap your sorrow.
Yeah.
It's like that. That is how you understand that.
Yeah. No, you said when the higher self guides the intellect, that is preferable, right? When you're not guided by
That is
the
what is
senses.
happening here. Yes. So
Yeah.
what happens is, as we are doing this meditation, we are also cleansing our karma there. So the
Okay.
intellect is that is delinked. That
Okay.
happens inside. Your
Okay.
buddhi is delinked from your karma.
Okay.
So because in these three bodies, the gross body, the subtle body, and the causal body, all those are cleansed. So your
Okay.
karma is also cleansed in the process.
Okay.
And therefore your buddhi will not depend on will not look to your karma there. So it will look to your higher self. That is what I mean.
Okay. Okay.
So that
And
is the reason why
that is what
focusing.
that's the evolution that we are looking for.
Yes,
Because
yes,
then we are
yes.
not driven outwardly with our desires. Instead,
Yes.
we have like blinders on and we are focused
Exactly.
inward
You
and
got
we are
it right.
growing. Right?
Yes.
Okay, got that.
You got
It
it
was a
right.
lot of information. Thank you. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I know I'm exceeding my time, but I have to give you this information because that is the reason why we have 1 hour of meditation, because that gives you the result.
Yeah.
Any amount of theory will not help us, but a little, when you have it in your mind, that helps you in sitting down for meditation through the 1 hour. That's
Yeah.
we feel.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Umesh sir, yeah. Umesh sir, you have a question.
Good morning. Yeah, one question, sir. It is
Yes, sir.
regarding desire and action. So when we are our mind or a thought is very clear actually to not to do desire. So some desire is there with us actually. I don't want to do the desire. But I don't know which conscious is driving actually. By default, the desire will come and action will be initiated. So, is there any shortfall in that particular path? What we wanted to eliminate the desire?
All the sanchita karma, whatever karma we have in our account there, whatever little we have brought here, whatever we are doing now, everything is cleansed by this Omkar. Just forget about the desires. Consciously or unconsciously or subconsciously, whatever is there, everything will be cleansed. Just focus on the Omkar. Listen to the Omkar.
Right.
That takes care of everything.
Okay, because it is on and off like a New Year resolution. On and off, actually, it is coming and going. Actually, that is just I'm unable to understand. That is what.
That's okay. That's very much okay. You just try to sit through the 40 days, sir. That is called a mandalam. That 40 days is the prescribed time period for us to get cleansed. So this karma will be interfering with us. That's okay. You just sit through. What Guru Garu says is morning 1 hour and evening 1 hour during the Sandhya period, that is the breaking of dawn to dusk or dusk to dawn, is the time when we have to sit through. If we can sit through for 2 hours, 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening, for 40 days, all questions are answered. You just remain blissful, he said. And he said, if you are not able to sit through properly, repeat it, he said. Repeat it for another 40 days is what he said. Just don't worry much about what are coming in and going out. Allow them to come, allow them to go. You don't give up. Please don't give up.
So you mean to say actually, if at all I missed 2 classes, then I need to go for another mandalam?
It will be like that because, to be more precise, the energies developed in the 1 hour Omkar will be there in us, inside us for 8 hours. They remain inside us, they are vibrant. We remain vibrant for 8 hours. Usually the next 8 hours, we have to repeat it. So normally, those who do it for 3 times a day, every 8th hour, Nobody needs to tell them anything because they go into that cycle of Omkar. Omkar happens from inside you. Like, Guru Garu says that Omkar has to, or the all-time awareness of the Paramatma, all-time, 24-hour awareness of the Paramatma has to happen like a tiladhara, he says. When you pour oil, the way it flows, that is how we have to remain in contact with our Paramatma inside, he says. For that to happen, every 8th hour we have to fill our bowl, just as we eat food. No, this is our food. So every 8th hour we have to fill it up. Right now, please don't worry about repeating the mandalam from today or something like that. You just finish these 40 days, sir. At the end of the 40th day, if you feel that you are not up to the mark, then you finish the next, take up the next cycle. Because after maybe 10-15 days, you will not want to count the number of days that have happened. You would want to be like that forever. It will be like that. So just
Right,
don't
madam.
worry.
Thank
sir.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry for crossing my time because this is such a concept that I cannot give you anything in 5-10 minutes. I'm sorry for that. Maybe Parmeshwaran sir, with a quick pranayama, we can go into the pranayama to clean our nadis and go into the state of meditation. Thank you.
The time will not be sufficient when we discuss like this. It is natural. So, Deho Devalaya Prokto Jivo Deva Sanatanaha Tyajed Ajnana Nirmalyam Soham Avena Pujaye. The essence of what she said, in fact, the body is a temple. See, so when we focus on that, we always go outward, sense pleasures only, right? So, Jivo Deva Sanatana. What is God or what is permanent? That is the vital life force, or now what she said is the Purusha, Angushta Matra. So that is it. So once we realize that, why we are not? Because of ignorance. Deho Devalaya Prokto Jivo Deva Sanatana Tyajed Ajnana Nirmalyam. Whatever process we are doing is to remove that ignorance. That's why. And maybe tomorrow I'll talk a little more to complement this. See, why we are all doing effort is because of our nature gunas. We are all comprised of 3 gunas, tamas, rajas, and sattva. So we have to increase our sattva qualities. That's all we can do. The more we increase, so because of the karma again, it comes. We are born with that. Even the nature is comprising of all the 3 gunas, the universe itself. But where there is balance, all fine. So balancing these 3 gunas are there. For that, japa is one of the path, the best path also. As even Krishna says, in yajnas, I am japa yajna. Even Manusmriti talks about this. Yesterday I said about, chanting, how to chant. Those who are more having predominantly of tamoguna, lazy. So for us, the loud chanting is good because otherwise you cannot control the mind. And those who are more in Rajoguna, you can go for Manasika Japa. So like that, that's what I first loud chanting, then go for Manasika Japa. That is best. Upamsu Japa. Upamsu is only lip movement, you are only listening. Then go to Manasika. So Manasika Japa straight away is possible only those who are mostly in Sattva Guna. That is why. So we have to increase that. For that, Yama Niyama, of course, fundamental foundation of character. So everything is a combination as you go. So we cannot overnight change because of our nature. Each one is different, each one is unique. But with trust, let us do. So Japa helps us. I don't want to take more time today already. So you do on, say, 5 times Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama straight away. Then we'll go for listening to the audio Japa. Right? Please take a comfortable position. Taking 3 deep breaths first. Then go for, say, 5 times today. starting from left nostril. Conscious connected breathing. Totally be conscious of the breath.
We'll start in another 30 seconds, masters.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Masters.
Thank you, Rajalakshmi ma'am. Yeah, thank you, Parmeshwar sir. Thank you, Masters, for the wonderful group meditation. We'll all meet again tomorrow, same time. Yeah. Please do join on time so that you don't miss the wonderful wisdom from Rajalakshmi ma'am and Parmeshwaran sir. So, yeah. Have a wonderful, beautiful morning and a peaceful night. Take care. Bye.